So going into spring ball and some of some of the quotes that have been coming out from spring practice, and notoriously they run a tight ship. There's all these rules about filming and what you can report on and everything else. So it's famously a very tight ship over there in Ann Arbor. However, we did hear that the new Northwestern transfer O lineman Josh Preeb was praising the intensity of the Michigan practices. I guess maybe a departure from what he was used to at Northwestern. So are we seeing already the beginnings of Grant Newsome shaping up to be a good replacement for Sharon Moore, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably the best hire we could make, given the circumstances of Sharon Moore being promoted to head coach, right? So I think Grant Newsome is a home run. I think he completely understands the scheme. He was formerly the tight end coach. I think he's a very aggressive recruiter, and I think because he's also a former player, he can relate on the recruiting level better than almost anybody because he's lived it. So, yeah, Grant Newsome is the ideal replacement for Sharon Moore, and I'm pretty excited to see what this old line develops into this coming season.
Yeah, his football IQ and actual IQ is through the roof from all reports.
Right.
He was born in '97, so he's a very young guy. So I think it makes a lot of sense. I think he was on the fast track. He's already been on the fast track for a little while here, for at least 18 months, maybe 2 years. So, and he's right on that path. He's on that Sharon Moore path.
Absolutely. All right. So with that said, yeah, I do think it's a good start. I have been hearing that some of the linemen are getting a little bit banged up. I don't know how true that is. It's only like one source. So we'll have to hear a couple more sources confirming that before we make an official report on it. But but intensity, usually a good thing. And Michigan has had a lot of success in this area being intense, right? And that's kind of what has separated Michigan a little bit from Ohio State in recent years, as they go to more of a finesse and Michigan stays pretty physical. But Newsome did talk a little under a week ago about maintaining the standard that has been set by Sharon Moore, coaching O-line, and others, and Jim Harbaugh, who you can see is back here. My new painting with JJ and Jim Harbaugh is now officially here. So thanks to Helen Hayes Art for that. But talking about maintaining the standard that's been set. So I don't really see any issues with the O-line compared to other. I know it's an all new unit, but guys, a lot of them, as we know, have been waiting in the wings for like 3-4 years. Like this is not their first rodeo, right, TJ?
Right. I mean, we have guys who've been in the pressure cooker for a long time. They also got a lot of depth snaps last season because we go, we'll do 6 offensive linemen, 7 offensive linemen. So a lot of them had reps, guys like Giovanni El-Hadi, Miles Hinton, even Greg Crippen. So, and by all accounts, the guys have looked pretty good. I mean, obviously the defense is dominating and the defensive line is giving them fits, but you got to remember this is arguably, possibly the number one front 7 in defense in the nation this coming season. So they got a tall task. And, I think we could see another consistent high level offensive line this next coming season. I really do believe that.
Yeah. If you look through the numbers, Gentry played in 7 games, El-Hadi 11, Crippen 9, Priby 12, Hinton 14. So right. There is experience there. It's just that we were the best of the best for 3 straight years. Are we going to do that a 4th year? I think it's natural to think there's going to be a little bit of a drop off. But it's nowhere near the drop off, let's say, versus the quarterback position for, potentially, because of how much we're losing versus the experience of the people who are coming back. Orji only had 6 games that he was actually in. And even when he was in, I mean, he was in very important games, but he wasn't passing, and it was only for a couple plays here and there. So, if I were to worry about one thing, it's much more about quarterback than the O-line. O-line should be very, very good. It may not be the very best in college football like it was for the last 3 years.